Okay, welcome back to our IS1 to IS2 conversion. And in this segment, we're going to be doing a bit of painting and weathering. Offline, I went ahead and painted the hull and turret NATO Green with a bit of highlighting. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add with raw umber some shadows, and just some really some lowlights in some of the recessed areas. So we'll let this play out. The mix itself with the raw umber is very soupy. You don't want this too thick, so we're just going to apply it. And accuracy and precision are not a requirement here. So just get it along panel lines and obtuse and acute angles and corners, and we'll see what it looks like. So just follow along. And here we go. So we're just working our way around the vehicle hull, just creating artificial shadows, and it looks a bit sloppy at this point, but don't worry about it. It really cleans up nice, and in the end, I think you'll appreciate the final result. All right, and coming up now, we're going to start with the Naples yellow. We're just going to grind that into the paint, into the panels with a very stiff and dry. It's important at this point that your brush is dry. So we're going to start off just putting some dots down, and we'll grind those into the paint. And if you paint a lot of green tanks, whether American or Russian, Naples yellow for me is definitely your go-to for weathering. So if you don't have Naples yellow in your oil inventory, I really recommend getting that, because I love it as a weathering color. Here we go. We're just starting to grind it in, and really a short, stiff brush, dry. You're really just kind of grinding it in. Firm is probably the best. You don't want to press down too hard because then you start breaking bits and pieces off the suspension. So as you can see, we're just kind of grinding it in, and you can tell how it's changing the color of the 4BO base coat. And now we're gonna shift to a little bit of white to just kind of lighten it up. My advice, if you're new to this technique, is just to start with minimal paint and build it up to see how you like the effect. Because it's simpler to add more than to take too much off. And if you've added too much, we're gonna use some olive green just to get some of the green back. So if you just follow along with the process, you can see where the raw umber is really getting backed up into the corners now. And we'll go back with a little bit of the yellow to just kind of to bring it back. I guess I got it a little bit too white. But you can bounce back and forth between the white and the yellow. I don't really worry too much about cleaning the brush. I think the more mixed the paint is, the better variation you get. And you really don't want to use your best brushes for this technique. I find really the cheaper brushes you can get at an art supply house or a 5 and 10 or a Dollar General, they'll do the job, because this technique is really tough on your brushes, and you don't really want to beat up one of your best brushes doing this. Kind of overdone it on the zip box, and I'm going to go back and fix that with a bit of olive green in a later part of the video. I think what had happened is I ended up with somehow I ended up with thinner on the brush. I must have dipped it in there. And what happens with this technique, once you start the grinding process, if you've got thinner on the brush, it really messes it up. It spreads it around where when you're grinding it in, you want to keep it in the same place. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to use a bit of olive green just to go over some spots that just may be too light, and so the olive green helps you get that greenness back that the Russian tanks are. And you're going to want to just kind of get you don't want it too white and yellowy, so you want a bit of green, so we'll get a bit of green back into the mix. So here we go, we're grinding a bit of green, olive green back into it. And you can see it's getting the greenness back. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and finish up offline with the turret and the rest of the hull. And coming up, you'll see what the finished product looks like, and I think it looks pretty good. So here we go. This is what it looks like, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you in the next segment.